What up, Buckeye Nation? Welcome to Scoop. We're here for the post-game show, Ohio versus Ohio State. Chat, appreciate you guys for joining us. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Super chats are open. They go towards supporting our veterans of this country here on the Scoop channel. So if you could do that for us, that would be much appreciated. Well, let's go ahead and bring in Nevada, dive into this thing tonight. Nevada, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good now that we we restored order, won the game, and got that. Not that it was ever really dicey, but it was just one of those games. And you have them at certain points of the season. You don't like it to happen, but it happens, and we survived.
Yeah, it's one of those weird games where we gave them 181 yards and we had 572 yards. It was really in that first half, the red zone stuff. I mean, the two interceptions. One of those weird games where you're going into halftime, and as a Buckeye fan, you can be mad, but then you look at the stat sheet and it's like, well, I don't know what I'm mad about other than the scoreboard, which is the most important thing. But overall, got it together, got it figured out. Julian saying out there, what was he like 27 for 32? Is that what it was?
It,
Yeah, 25 for 32, 347 yards with three touchdowns. Nevada, talk about Julian saying and his performance tonight.
I mean, it was good. I mean, the numbers were great, but I don't know if he was great. I'm sure he would probably tell you he wasn't great. I think he was late with some throws. He was a little indecisive with some throws, and I thought the two interceptions, frankly, were the least of my worries because those were just kind of memey. The one time he got hit when Tiger was a little late getting over there on a block. There was a block at the line of scrimmage, but I thought he played good. I'll give him a B plus. B plus for 25 for 32 for 347 yards and three touchdowns. And I'm sure that's probably the way that he'll kind of grade out. I thought that they didn't do him a lot of favors in the red zone. I didn't think Brian Hartline called a particularly good game today. I think that he showed his inexperience as an offensive coordinator a little bit. And, but these are all just part of the natural growing pains of a team. We knew with two new coordinators that we'd have some issues. We knew that there'd be, it's hard to get guys motivated and up and going every single week. I mean, it just is. And when you've got a week off and guys are getting ready to kind of take it off, and you got Ohio U in here, and it's just hard. I didn't know it would be this close, and I don't think anybody did. But when the game kind of started out, and you get down 4th and 1, and you miss it, and it just had a feeling like it was going to be one of those games, and it was, and we still ended up winning 37-9, as you said, put up 500 and 72 yards or whatever it was, and held
Yep,
them to
80.
Yeah, yeah, whatever it was. And so, I mean, I think it's the perfect kind of tonic for Ohio State right now, which is enough red meat to get the guys yelled at by the coaches. But we won, and it didn't seem like we had any serious injuries or anything coming out of it. So, all in all, satisfactory win, advance, move on, and let's look forward to our first road trip against Washington.
Yeah, coming into this game, we played Grambling last week. That was a certain type of competitiveness, right? We knew, judging, it was 70-0, so we knew that wasn't going to be a very competitive game. And then we see this Ohio game coming up, and you realize that they almost came back from behind and beat Rutgers. They dominated West Virginia. They won the MAC last year. I mean, we got one of their players on our team, so it wasn't going to be that easy of a game. So we knew it was going to be a little bit more of a struggle, which this early in the season, that's what you want. Now, kind of like you said, I didn't expect that much of a struggle. Definitely in the red zone, our defense killed it. A couple of things we'll get to about the defense. Obviously, here at Ohio State, number one team in the nation. When you get to this level of football, I almost feel bad about nitpicking things, but it's like, what else do you do? There's things you want to talk about your team. You want your team to always be better, right? So I would rather go through these growing pains now while we're playing Ohio, where we know that, hey, man, as shown in the game, we can chuck it up to JJ and score points at will, essentially. As long as we're not inside the 20-yard line, we can score whenever we want. But, right, younger quarterback, Julian saying only his third start, he was kind of starting to look like Superman. It's almost a good thing that, hey, back down to earth, Julian's a human, right? So he's going to have to make these mistakes, learn the process through them. Because I would say in the red zone, play calling didn't help whatsoever, but there were some open targets early on in the red zone that Julian missed. But again, Julian's performance, I like your grade, B plus overall, did his job, won the game. Nevada, I was messing around with you, man. So maybe I shouldn't bring this up so we can see who was right. But JJ had to slow down a little bit on some of those deep balls. And we noticed last year, everybody wanted to just attack Will Howard on the deep ball. But Julian saying had a couple deep balls tonight, 3 or 4 of them, something like that. Beautiful throws, little things to work on there. The one to Carnell Tate was beautiful in stride. He did the little pump fake. But again, this game, it's a coachable moments occurred in this game this early in the season against this opponent. I would rather that happen than at the on the road at Washington, which is our next game.
No question. I mean, you want to face a little bit of adversity. You want to see how the kind of the team responds. The good news that I think what we have to ask ourselves is what have we found out about this team? Like what do we know about this team after 3 weeks? And I think that we can say with a pretty good certainty that we have a really, really good defense, like an elite defense that's going to be there week in and week out. And the good news about defense is, offense kind of comes and goes and hems and haws, and sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. But defense can be there. Defense can be a constant, and we have an elite defense. So I think the Matt Patricia questions have been kind of answered through 3 weeks. The defensive questions have answered through 3 weeks. The pass rush questions have been answered through 3 weeks. We wonder how are we going to generate a pass rush, and we're like, guys, Matt Patricia brings pressures a lot of different ways. That's how they'll generate pressure. Today, I think Caden Curry had 10 tackles, including a sack for the nose guard spot. Bo Atkinson had a sack. I mean, we're bringing guys from all over. I think defensively, while I'm not saying that we'll never have any challenges or teams will never move the ball on us, we have a really good defense. That's one thing we know. Two, JJ Smith is everything. He's gotten better. Carnell Tate is right there as well. I think Max Clare is as advertised, coming on that we've got a viable threat there. And I think we know that Bo Jackson's our best running back. I think we know that. I mean, that may be open for debate. That's probably the iffiest of everything, but I think we know that. So, you know, offensively, I think we can, the offensive line certainly seems to be more proficient at pass blocking than they are at run blocking. But I think we do both pretty well. I think once we kind of incorporate some of you saw today when they finally did a little trickeration and they brought the ball to JJ around in the end around. He had 3 guys in front of him and almost went untouched in the end. So I mean, that's the kind of stuff you got to do, because if you don't provide constraint to defenses, they will tee off and make you look really bad in the running game. And the way you provide constraint is with a running quarterback, which they are very rude to do with Julian Sand. They did it with Lincoln. They brought Lincoln in, ran him, and he made it look pretty easy. But they're not doing with them. So they're going to have to bring it in other ways. They're going to have to bring it with that orbit motion. They're going to have to bring it with misdirection, with reverses, with counters, with other stuff. The one time they did it today, it worked to great effect. So I think we've gotten some answers. I don't think we have a lot of questions. I think Julian's saying, I think we've got the answer that he's a pretty good quarterback. He's a pretty good quarterback that's going to be really good by the time he's gone here. So if you go back in the Wayback Machine, the Devin Wayback Machine, and you push the button to beginning of the season and kind of go, what really were my questions? I think we've answered probably 90% of them. And I'd be
Yeah.
interested to hear what your thoughts are. What questions do you still have? What questions did you have at the beginning of the year? And what questions do you have as we sit here today?
Well, first off, to add to a couple things you said there, defense fire, right? We're holding teams to 5.3 points per game, and we saw one of those touchdowns of the defense. So we'll get to the questions if there are any on the defensive side of the ball in a minute. But questions for me, Julian saying, like you said, is answered. I got to give you a shout out, man. I read one of your things you put on the Scoop board, and in there, one of the strongest point that you made, and you were pretty big on, was Bo Jackson at the running back position. And at that time, I was reading it. I'm gonna be honest. I was like, dang, I think Nevada might have missed this one. Didn't give James Peoples and CJ Donaldson enough time. They've only played 2 games. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but to me, I think it's pretty obvious at this point in time that Bo Jackson is our number one running back. Now, what does that look like? I think CJ Donaldson is a good back and needed. He's always fallen forward as well, but he doesn't have the speed and the burst. And James Peoples came on in the second half. So, offensively, you want to know offensive line. I mean, the questions I would still have is, all right, what are we going to do to solidify the running back position? I think that's starting to take shape, though. I think we're going to find our answers there. My next question on offense, and this is getting nitpicky, is the right guard position with Tegra. We saw him get a couple different penalties, and if you watched the line, you saw a couple missed assignments and question marks there. When Ethan comes in the game, I don't know if my eyes are deceiving me, but I see things run very smoothly. So there, but as far as what were my questions before, it was Julian saying, and no worries there. I don't count those 2 interceptions as interceptions from Julian saying. Like those are just pretty pretty bad luck. I know people will probably argue with me on that, but I mean those were just absolutely bad luck. But on the offensive side of the ball, the running back position, it looks like Bo Jackson's going to be the answer there. And our O line is, I mean, doing good. So it's nitpicking at that point in time. But I guess Nevada helped me out there with what are your thoughts on those 2 questions I brought up? The running back position and maybe some tweaking on the offensive line, even though we rushed for 225 yards.
Well, I mean, for my money, um, you know, I mean, Teeter's got to get some of the benefit of the doubt because he played minutes through the national championship game, but I really wonder if Ethan isn't the future of that position for us. And I agree with you. I don't think your lying eyes are deceiving you. I think Ethan can do some things on the inside. That the problems that Ethan had at Ohio State when he came here had been against speed rushers and primarily guys on the edge and speed rushers on the edge. That's not a problem on the inside. When he's on, when he's at guard, he's got help at the center position, and he can use that big body and those drive blocks and do that other stuff. So I, you know, uh, gun to my head, asking me for a thing today. And I think I will predict by the end of the year, I think Ethan's going to be that guy. Now, do I think we can still get good minutes out of Tigra like we did last year on that run to the national championship? Absolutely. And I'm certainly not, writing him off or discarding him or doing anything like that. But um I like it better. I think it runs better when Ethan's in there. Tiger's just a step slow, and he does stuff that just keep me scratching my head, about his performance. As for the Bo Jackson thing, yeah, he's just really good. The question marks with him really. I didn't have any question marks about his ability. I had question marks about how quickly he was going to be able to rehab and trust that leg after the catastrophic injury that he suffered coming out of high school. Um, but he seems to be trusting it, and he's just shiftier, burstier, and just looks more fluid out there at running back than James and CJ. Um, Again, it's against Grambling, it's against Ohio U, it's a limited sample size, but I do believe that that Bo is the guy, and I think that's probably the guy that we're gonna have to be looking for to carry us going forward because he looks pretty talented.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like we were texting during the game, Nevada, and you said there's always a game like this, right? There were some uncharacteristic things happening for this football team. The JJ Smith unsportsmanlike. We had 6 penalties for 50 yards. Some things. I mean, even that catch that Ohio had. It was a really bad thrown ball way behind. I think it might have hit Lorenzo Styles. Then the receiver caught it, even though Chase Hendricks very good receiver, plays for Ohio, from Ohio, very good receiver. But offensively, I mean, you look at this game and you just think, hey, third game of the year, third time starting quarterback. Some questions that we didn't even know were really questions are starting to get answered. Perfect time of the year to answer those questions. Then on the road, has a lot they can go with at this point in time offensively. And I think there are solutions to the things that we're worried about right now. And that's been proven over the last couple games. It's not like we're sitting here and there's nobody we can come in to maybe boost these positions up that we're talking about. So I mean, this offense is so explosive, and if we can get the running back / running game figured out, which we will, and if Brian Hartline can start to maybe understand things a little, maybe this freedom, it's also giving him an opportunity to be taught some things from Ryan Day and some other coaches on the staff, and he's making these early mistakes as a play caller. Again, rather make him early so he learns from them. So offensively, kind of talked about that. Nevada, I wanted to ask you before we get into defense. Let me ask you because this punting thing, right? This punting thing. I don't know why, but maybe we just pass it off as one of those weird games. But seeing the muffed reception by JJ and some of the coverage and decisions there, um, early in the year, is this a trend that we got going on with the Ohio State football? We're gonna get it figured out, but just give me your thoughts. I don't want to sound too nitpicky, but when I watch these games and every time we're going back to receive a punt, I get a little nervous. That doesn't feel right to me. And again, extremely nitpicky because we got it done, but give me your thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are that I think you would solve 90% of these problems if you would just put back Innis and JJ Smith as twin receivers on the thing, so the guys don't have to run so darn far to get the ball, and give yourself an instant up back to block, and those guys could catch it. And I thought Brandon did a nice job on that one return where I think he returned it about 20 yards. He actually showed some good speed, moved the ball up the field a little bit, but. Yeah, our special teams haven't been special. And is that a concern? Well, it's never a concern until it becomes a real problem. So I put it on the back burner of concerns, but it's certainly something I'm keeping an eye on. I do like the fact that they've got sure-handed guys back there in Innis and Smith. Um, but yeah, the I won't call it lackadaisical, but kind of the way that we go back and catch punts and the guys are flying around there and almost bumping into them and doing this and that. I sure maybe by us talking about it, we'll talk this out of existence. But yeah, I'm with
Yeah.
you. When the ball's in the air, I'm definitely big time nervous. I'm having nightmares of Philly Brown back there against Clemson and getting ready to drop one. But yeah, hoping for the best for sure.
Yeah, for sure. We got somebody joining us, Nevada. B. Moses coming in here. We're going to get his thoughts on the offense and the special team things we've talked about. Then we'll jump into the defensive side. Yo, B, what's good, dude?
Everybody panic. We're all gonna die. What's up, fellas?
What's happening?
What up? What up?
Nothing, man. It's just funny, man. Fans are funny. I mean, we've watched way too much college football, fellas. I mean, I'm literally sitting there in the chat. I'm like, I had zero anxiety, zero stress.
Yeah.
Was I frustrated at times? Sure. I was frustrated, but I'm just sitting back chilling. Like, okay, we're going to win this game. It's only by how much. We're going to shake this off. Very frustrating to see us not finish drives and things like that. And I'm jumping in late, so I'm sure you guys have covered things, but I'm just saying, man, this is good old fashioned college football, man. This is like Nevada said in the chat, Dev. A game like this literally happens every year, and this was to me for that actual statement. This is probably the lowest stress level of that type of game. Like Nebraska last year, that was stressful. I was anxious that game.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna hold you, but this game, I was never concerned. To me, I saw it as a blessing to have this type of hiccup game and lack of execution game and mistakes, before we do our bye week and go on the road at Washington. Get that out your system before you go on the road in a hostile environment. So I'm good over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you said that beautifully. Again, you sit there, number one team in the nation, and we're playing like the number one team in the nation. You see all these other teams, Clemson, you see Georgia, Tennessee game. You see some uncharacteristic things happening across the country. The Buckeyes are in a good spot. Questions are being answered, and there are solutions to what we consider issues here in Buckeye Nation, but 99% of the rest of college football would love to have our issues right now. But let's get
Right.
to the side of the ball that I am most excited to watch this year. I thought that would be the case with Matt Patricia and the players that we have on this side. The defense absolutely tore it up, held them to like 180 some yards, 5.3 points per game so far. But what Matt Patricia is able to do with these guys on defense, with each player, I mean, Jalen McClain with that hit, you know, the barbecue hit, we can say that. K-Mac with the sack, Curry with the sack, Kenyatta Jackson with the tackle for loss, Caleb with the tackle for loss, Caden Curry, defensive MVP of the game. I mean, absolutely wrecking fools. Nevada, give me your thoughts. You already talked about the defense a little bit, but dive into it a little bit more. Defense, Matt Patricia, are you excited to watch Buckeyes on this side of the ball this season?
Well, I am, and I'm a proud card carrying supporter of Patricia since the day he was hired. So I was definitely not one of those guys that jumped on the bandwagon recently. I thought that we would be good defensively, but I got to be honest with you, I didn't think we'd be this good. I didn't think, we have overachieved expectations for me thus far, defensively, in terms of how advanced we are. We're kind of the gold standard for deception and trickeration on the defensive side right now. And if we think back 100 years ago to the Kerry Combs era, when we were out there and we were so predictable and teams could run the same play over and over against us and just abuse us. Now, yeah, we just seem to be introducing new wrinkles every week. We're getting contributions from different guys. We're not Chase Young dependent to have a pass rush. I mean, I can remember some of the seasons where, like, if that guy didn't get it, it wasn't going to get
Right.
done. And now it's like, man, we are bringing it from all over. I have no idea who's going to be coming, what's going on with it. So I love the way that we play defense, and that doesn't mean we won't lose a game this year. That doesn't mean we won't have a bad game on defense this year. That doesn't mean that Matt Patricia will always be perfect, but darn, he's good. And
Yeah.
I don't want to drift back too far to the Brian Hartline thing, but I think the contrast between two first-time coordinators at the college level couldn't be more stark, because you can see the growing pains with Brian and the kind of the fits and starts and some of the stuff that we're going through with Patricia. Man, this is a guy that's clearly at the top of his game right now, knows exactly what he wants to do, doing it for the sideline, which I think is just crazy that he's being able to do that. But yeah, no, I'm excited about I'm excited about our depth. If you guys noticed today, Edric Houston didn't really take many snaps until the very end of the game, until the game wasn't really. So the rumors of him being in the doghouse, there could be some validity to that, because clearly he wasn't injured. He played, but he didn't take first down snaps. But did we miss a beat? No, I mean, we can just bring it. I love the fact that we can bring it. We don't have to get pressure by blitzing every time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's what kills defenses, is if you cannot get pressure with 4 or less, then you're going to be in trouble, because it's great that you can do the Wink Martindale thing and blitz 6 and blitz 7, but eventually you're going to get beat with that, and that's going to be a problem. We're able to because we're doing the stimulated pressure, and you never know where the guys are coming from. We're consistently able to get pressure with 4, and sometimes we get pressure with 3. You got to sack off a 3-man rush today too. So I love the way the defense continues to evolve, continues to show things, and that's what gives me so much confidence going into these tricky road games that we have up ahead, because defense is always going to be there, and I think Patricia's going to have some stuff cooked up for him.
Yeah, man, we got 2 sacks from the nose tackle position today.
Yeah.
So with Curry and K-Mac, man, B Moses, your thoughts, man?
Yeah. So I think I agree with Nevada on expectations. So let me parse that out for you. I was excited about the Patricia hire. Me and Nevada, I mean, we were all here at Scoop. We're no fools. We knew that was a good hire. but I was willing to, give it a few weeks to get, the footing and everything. But I mean, we've just come out the gate looking great. And so, but again, when I went to the practices, I was telling y'all, remember, Dev, I went on with you and Funky. And I said I was most excited about the offense first, but after these practices, I've shifted to the defense. And they're just proving me right. What I saw in practice, what I was hearing, what we were all hearing from inside the WAC, on top of that, was just like, yo, Patricia. And then, of course, you heard the players beaming about Patricia, his scheme, and how he was using each and every one of them. So now we're off to the races. This is no fluke. We have a outstanding defensive coordinator and a really good defense. Do we want to keep improving in some areas? Sure. But they're going to keep improving. They're not going to keep sliding back. And remember, Bo Atkinson, he played well tonight too. He had a nice sack. And so the D-line in itself was just, they were more active tonight. They looked more stout. So that was good to see. But yeah, this defense is nasty. And now, Styles, look, man, that was not a good play. He, listen, the player catching the ball, he's a really good receiver. I don't know. I thought I heard Dev say that. People think just because we're playing MAC schools, they don't have good players. He's a good player. So he made a good catch, and Styles Jr. just didn't do a good job of recovering and making the tackle. Up until that point, he has been very good. So I already see people throwing him out and saying he's trash and he needs to be benched. Listen, man, look, let's act like we've watched football for more than just one week. Players are going to make mistakes. He's still a very solid player. He'll learn from that. But overall, I'll just say the scary thing is this team is still learning and growing. Even Arvell Reese is still new as a starter, and he's already a werewolf. Just imagine the level of werewolfdom he'll be at in week 8. You know what I'm saying? So to me, tonight, it was a struggle early. It was frustrating. But listen, man, the sky's the limit with this team. I'm super excited about this team. I didn't even get a chance to talk about the offense yet, but I know I hopped in late. So
yeah, I'm going to take this opportunity. I don't think we have enough like evidence yet to go full bore in on it, even though I believe we will. But let me ask both of you guys, out of the entire team, because Nevada brought up a really good point. Out of the entire team, everything that goes into a football team, what was the Ohio State fan bases and beat reporters' number one worry with this Buckeye team before season? What did we want in the transfer portal most of anything? What did we want?
Interior defensive line.
In Nevada, what did you just say? Did you mean to tell me that our starting defensive tackle didn't play till the fourth quarter, and Tywan Malone, Will Smith Jr., and Jarquez Carter, our boy Jarquez Carter, was able to come in and absolutely do their job on defense? So do we actually have depth at defensive tackle, and are we actually going to be okay?
Well,
So
but I think the point to me is that in the Patricia offense, or excuse me, in the Patricia defense, you're not playing traditional roles. You look how many guys times it's kind of like when you watch the Packers and you see Micah Parsons lined up on the inside or something like that. Like we're lining up with Caden Curry on the nose. They're moving Bo Atkinson up and down the line. They're standing Arvell Reese up over the over the three technique. You know what I'm saying? They're bringing it. So it's all we have to do is with a mix and match get through the first 2 downs and then get to third down and then you do your cooking. So it's like I think that for fans they've got to change their expectations about what you need because the roles have changed and the way that Patricia is attacking it is completely a pro style. It's not the way that most college teams do. It's not the way that Ohio State has done it for the past 20-25 years. So I think as a fan, you've got to moderate your expectations. But I don't want to spend too much time patting B. Moses on the back, but this is exactly what we said was going to happen. We said, you guys, they're going to be moving guys in and out all around different spots, bringing pressure. Don't worry about who's the second string defensive tackle on the third team. I mean, it's like, guys, there's many other things we can worry about. That one we didn't have to worry about. On that one, we were prophetic.
Yeah, we must have all been on the same page, because if you go back and watch any of my shows, I don't know how many times I said there's two reasons why I am not concerned with this defensive line. Reason number one, Matt Patricia. Reason number two, these coaches and these players have the ability to get better in the offseason and during the season. But B. Moses, what's your response to that, man?
Yeah. What was the question again? Reporter?
Well, just this whole defensive line thing, Nevada talking about, you guys talking about Matt Patricia rotating guys in all the time, and essentially that, hey, we're going to be okay because responsibilities and positions have changed with Matt Patricia coming in here and putting Caden Curry at nose tackle. I mean, he's a defensive
for sure.
end, but yeah,
Nevada hit it. He nailed it. I mean, there's really not much else for me to say. He nailed it. We leading up to the season, we told y'all this. Like, I mean, several podcasts. We really hit that home, and so we're seeing it come to fruition. I mean, we're seeing it, and so it really, even if there was a real fear of a lack of depth, it's null and void because of Patricia's scheme. You know what I'm saying? Nevada, he nailed that. Like, if you go back to past Ohio State teams, and we had a real lack of depth issue, it would then be a problem because we didn't do what we're doing now with Patricia. So that's why we were never really concerned or worried for a couple of reasons. Number one, Patricia. Number two, let these guys cook. Like, let them grow. Let them, Jacquez, I know he's not a 5-star, but trust the coach's evaluation. We might have some guys, you know what I'm saying, on top of the fact that Patricia is going to bring a scheme that's not a traditional. So to Nevada's point, just like in the new landscape with NIL and how things, we have to change our expectations and our mindset from what we're used to what we have now, which is a legit NFL D coordinator savant who is going to he's going to dial up all types of stuff. And these players, they don't look confused. They know what they're doing. They're confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to me, it's a beautiful thing. I cannot wait to see what else he puts out there. Before this season, fellas, the whole penny front and all that stuff, that's not something we've been used to, right? I mean, now look at us. And so anyway, so not to belabor the point, yes, Nevada, we told y'all this already, and it's just beautiful to see it happening on the field in such a way that's more cleaner and sharper and beautiful than we could have even imagined, at least this early. I'll say that.
Yeah. It's nice to see a defensive coordinator utilizing Sonny and Orville Reese. You can run 3 defensive linemen when you got 2 6'4", 240, 250-pound linebackers that can also come in and help out. Fellas, before we get to these super chats, well, I got to say one more thing. I'm going to get your guys' thoughts. Philip Daniels, I pay attention to him a lot during these games, and every single game I fall more and more in love with Philip Daniels and think he has the potential to be one of the best offensive linemen on this team. I think he performed really, really well today. Again, haven't went back and watched anything in particular, but if you guys want to respond to that, go ahead. But while you do, give me your offensive and defensive player of the game as of right now.
Nevada, you go first.
Okay. Yeah. No, first off, Philip Daniels has been terrific. Austin Seyerveld at left tackle has been terrific because we just don't call their names very much because they do their stuff. They're not getting beat a lot. That one blitz where they got beat, that's a bad play call where you're asking Tigre to pull out and kick that guy out from all the things. That's a tough block for him to make. And he was late, and Julian got smacked, and we had an interception on that. Offensive player of the game, J.J. Smith. Defensive player of the game, Caden Curry. Final answer.
B?
Yeah, man, I'm looking at the stats here. Carnell Tate had a heck of a game too. 101 yards, 20.2 yards per average per catch, and a touchdown. But it has to be J.J. Smith. It's Jeremiah Smith. He had two touchdowns, 1 rushing, one pass, 1 receiving, 9 receptions for 153. It has to be J.J. If Sayan didn't have the 2 weird, by the way, y'all, have y'all seen in a game the two weirdest interceptions in one game? Like the deflection, like ping, 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 like it just bouncing all over the place. Super weird. If Sand didn't have them picks, he might be up for it. But JJ Smith, and then defensively, Caden Curry is a great pick, but I'm gonna go with Reese. I'm gonna go with Arvell Reese just because he was just all over the place. He had a sack. I believe he had a sack. He had some nice tackles. He ran down Navarro and batted it down. I mean, his speed and his size. I mean, he werewolfed him down. I'm gonna go with Arvell Reese as my defensive guy.
Yeah, and Nevada took the ones I originally would have said, but Bo Jackson, 9 carries for 109 yards, 12.1 yards per carry. Jeremiah Smith, 9 receptions for 153 yards. Carnell Tate, 5 receptions for 101 yards. 3 Buckeyes over 100, well, 4 with Julian Sain in his passing, but 3 Buckeyes offensive weapons with over 100 yards. Just to be different, I'm going Bo Jackson, offensive player of the game. Defensively, I mean, it's Caden Curry, and then it's Arvell Reese, and then I'm going to go with Jalen McClain. That dude is just very impressive.
Love McClain.
He seems to be following in Caleb's footsteps, and this is another example of why it's amazing to have Caleb Downs, because here's what's going on. Caleb Downs wore off on Sonny Styles, and now Sonny Styles is wearing off on Pierce and Arvell, and Caleb was wearing off McClain and Hartford. And you can visually see it on the field with the way Sonny is communicating when the offense is motioning and making changes. There's 2 players on the field, and Ryan Day has confirmed this, that are going to get these defensive players in the right position. Caleb Downs and Sonny Styles are really good at doing that. But you see Jalen McClain starting to do those things as well. I noticed it last game. I noticed this game. He's got a lot of communication going on there pre-snap. And then most of the time, the decision that he makes it quick, and then he makes it fast. And at the safety position, boy, when he comes down to make a hit, he's making a hit. And he's got some big shoes to fill. The helmet cracker, Lathan Ransom. And Jalen McClain's on a very good start of filling those shoes of somebody coming down and absolutely laying the wood. So you guys got anything else before we dive into these super chats?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to say this real quick, looking at the stats. I just want to remind everybody that I know as fans, we don't have patience. That's just one thing I've just seen over the years. We just don't have patience, but you got to have patience. Julian Sayin is only starting his 3rd game. Okay. Bo Jackson's a true freshman. Even James Peoples, is only starting his 3rd game. And speaking of Peoples, he averaged 6.7 yards per carry. He didn't look bad. He just doesn't have the top ceiling that Bo Jackson has. Bo Jackson is special. Peoples, I think, can be a really good back here, but just maybe not the ceiling of Bo Jackson. What I'm saying is it's a long season, and Peoples still, I think there's more in him. Like you can see, like he's trying to crack. He's trying to get through. He's trying to, you know what I'm saying? And I think once he gets through, I think he could be a really good help to this team and a really good, reliable back, even if Bo Jackson is the most talented. And Donaldson is just what he is. I mean, he's a banger in between the tackles. He's good at what he does. But I do think there's another level to Peoples, and Bo Jackson is the best, and he needs to get more snaps. And so just kind of reminded people, these are still some young players on this team that still need to grow and learn. And I know Hartline wasn't his best tonight, but Julian Sayin wasn't either. He missed some wide open guys. He missed some reads, but he's only starting his 3rd game. So I'm not tripping, but I'm just saying, y'all, like as you evaluate, just understand that. And that's it. We can get to the super chats.
Yeah. Nevada, anything to add to that? Or you want to get onto these super chats? I'm going to get onto the super chats, and maybe he doesn't know he's muted, or he's eating a steak right now.
I'm eating a steak right now. I'm absolutely eating a steak. No, just learn, survive, move on, win 3-0 and no injuries. So yeah, I'm a happy guy today for sure.
That right there.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest, man. Watching Julian Sayin, The biggest thing at quarterback, one of my favorite things about Will Howard was his ability to forget, his ability to make a bad play and come back in and you don't even notice. Well, I would say that Julian Sain has those same characteristics, which is a characteristic that if you go think about all these great big time, quarterbacks that we all remember and can say their names right now, they have that. They can come in after making mistakes and still run an offense very well. Mike Green, thank you so much for the $1.99. Always supporting the chat, bro. Love having you here. The issue was Julian wasn't seeing the complete field. Yeah, I mean, B. Moses just hit on that for sure, but he's only starting his third game. So he's going to have those things arise during this season, but I'd rather it happen for OU than at Washington or Minnesota or Penn State or something. Nevada, anything to add to that?
Well, yeah, I think. Look, I think Julian was a little indecisive, and I think he was a little hesitant on some of his throws. But I think some of the criticism that was coming from Chris Sims and some of the guys was a little off because, like the one play where they wanted him to go to I think it was Ennis at the top of the screen. If he wasn't locked in on Ennis as the number one read on that play, there was no chance that he was going to go to that guy
Agreed.
right away. You know what I'm
Agreed.
saying?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
then there was one earlier where JJ broke it to the corner, and the corner got deep, and Julian didn't go to him. And they were looking like he was like wide open, but that corner was he would have had to throw it perfectly over that guy's
Yes.
head in front of the thing. And then later on in the game, he tried that throw and it was knocked down or it was incomplete. So I'm, I totally agree with B that he missed some. There were some guys he missed and some throws. I think he wish he had back, and I wish he was a little more decisive. I think he was a little hesitant. He was even on some of the touchdown passes to Carnell and to JJ. He took a little extra hop, was a little late delivering the ball. That's why I gave him the B plus. But I don't think all the commentary from the talking heads was spot on because I think it was. Yeah, I'm not quite sure I agree with that.
Yeah. B.
Yeah, amen to all that. I'll just take it to a different direction to add on and say Peacock is trash.
Dang
Peacock
it. You took what I was
is
about to say.
trash. Okay, because I've had some people say, "Man, y'all stop whining about Peacock. Stop whining." It's not just about. Listen to Nevada's point. It's not just about like the picture's fine. We can see the game. It's a fine picture, but the production is just subpar. It's Timu version of production. The Sims and them, they were just a step down. It's not what we're used to. Say what you say want to say about ESPN, but give me Herbie and Fowler over Peacock. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to say that Peacock's trash. And then on the give me goofy, silly commercials over the with the black screen for 4 minutes. I couldn't stand it. All right, go ahead. I'm done.
Bro, we are on the same exact wavelength because I was about to go in on Peacock, man. I was about to go in. But I will argue this. No, the quality of picture also sucks, I think.
Okay,
I don't
fair
know.
enough.
And here in Florida, I don't know what you guys watch, but they can't even fill up all the commercial sections. We got to
Right.
watch what B Moses just said. Like, are you kidding me? I
Yeah.
would refresh Twitter and be able to understand what happened in the game before it played on my screen. My stream was 5 minutes behind
Yeah,
the actual game. In the group chat, you guys kept texting stuff, and I'm like, man, what game are these guys watching? And I realized, they're 4 plays ahead of me. That's why that we're not getting along here and understanding each other. So yeah, Peacock, you get a grade of an F minus here from me. So move on and give up the streaming college football games, please. Pooh Beard. What's up, Pooh Beard? Nice to see you. Thanks for the $4.99. Has Bo had issues with fumbles or pass pro in practice? No other reason he's not RB1. Feels a lot like 2021 Tress versus Teague versus Mayan, Nevada.
No, he hasn't. No, even though he has put the ball on the ground, and that's obviously an issue. No, I don't think it's. I just think that he was a guy that was coming off an injury. You had 2 guys, C.J. Donaldson, obviously a veteran, James Peoples guy that had waited his time, and that they really had, and we still have high hopes for him. But sometimes life isn't fair, and sometimes guys grab the golden ring and they kind of jump out in front of you. But I don't think there's been any particular problems with that. But I mean, Bo's, with every running back, you're probably one fumble away from getting moved to the back of the line, because that is the fumbles are the devil, and they're not going to do that. The second thing that is the devil is the fact that my phone is about to die, guys. So I'm gonna have to turn this over to Devin and B Moses to bring this one home. So I apologize on that, but this will be my last question. But Pooh, yeah, no problems. But Bo Jackson is the man. Go Bucks, and I'm glad we got the win tonight. Sorry, guys. Bring this one home for me.
Hey, Nevada, enjoy your steak, brother. Your phone's not really dying. We know that, but you got to go eat, dude. That's fine. It's fine.
I was gonna say he's getting close to the bone part where all the flavor is. He's like,
suck the barrel right now. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, fella.
Right, see you later. Right. Yeah, good stuff. B Moses, you got anything to add to this Bo Jackson conversation before I give my take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a fumble issue we haven't heard that. He did fumble last week. I mean, he fumbled out of bounds last week against Grambling, and he got chewed out for that. But I just think he's a freshman. He's growing. He's had to learn through fall camp. First of all, he had to go through fall camp. Number one, Peoples has been through fall camp. Donaldson has played at West Virginia. So, he had to learn. And so through that process, of course, then from week to week, you see, okay, this young man is starting to step up. You see what he did against Grambling. Okay, we need to play him more. He's taking steps. That's all we're seeing. And so right before our eyes, I think you're seeing him emerge. And that's just what it is, just the natural progression of a freshman learning and getting in the game and showing improving. And I'm glad he played, because on the pods, all of us were saying, please play him early versus Ohio coming off this Grambling game. Let him cook and see what happens. And we saw what happened. So,
yeah, I don't think it's any of those, pass pro, fumbling, none of those. I think this all goes back to the very fundamental culture of Ohio State. If you follow recruiting, if you know anything about the culture of Ohio State, they're going to make their players earn it. Bo was a freshman. He didn't have a lot of those opportunities to earn it until now. In practice, that's practice. Seniority, it's, CJ Donaldson coming in with the experience. He's a no-brainer. We know he's going to be on the field. And then James Peoples, the experience last year, the knowing the offense, to being integrated in the, in the system for that long. And Bo Jackson coming in as a freshman, there's something to be said when you make these young players go out and earn it. Right. You wonder why these Buckeyes have long careers in the NFL, why some of these guys succeed the way they do. It's because of this very fundamental basis right here. It don't matter if you're a 5-star. It don't matter if you're a 2-star. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter how much media coverage you have or any of that. You got to come into this Buckeye program and you got to earn it. You got to earn that $1 million nil check. You're just not going to just get it. You got to earn that playing time. You got to earn the respect of your team. There's a lot more about this team and this 12-team playoff and the game of football than just what's on the field. Respect from your teammates in the locker room, off the field, is something that these freshmen also have to do. And I love that that's the structure, the fundamental structure of this Buckeye team. I love that because, those lessons are going to be learned, and they're going to be burnt into your mind if you're learning them by having to earn. Now, if you're just throwing a bone, hey, you can get lackadaisical when you're playing in your 15th game of the season and you are just dog tired and don't want to play anymore. Man, if you came up through the ranks, that ain't going to stop you, because that's how you've been fighting the whole season. But if you were just throwing a bone and time gets rough, might get a little complacent, a little big-headed. So there's a lot that goes into this game, and I love that Ryan Day has structured this program like that. That's what I believe the situation with Bo Jackson is. I don't think it's anything other than that. Sack 3074. Thanks for the $2. Nice back run by J.J. Smith like Marvin Harrison Jr. B. Moses.
Yeah, that was dope. And it was like, as soon as I saw it and how it was blocked up, I knew it was a touchdown. Literally, as soon as he turned the corner, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a TD. So I'm glad they did that. And some people say, well, they're just trying to pad his Heisman stats. Yeah, do that, please. Please do that. Like, why not? I mean, get your best player the ball. Like, feed him. Give him all the stats if you can within reason. Where you're not hurting the team. So I thought it was dope. It was great to see. I hope they keep doing it. And so yeah, there's that. I hope they let him pull a Evan Spencer and do a throwback pass. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm good with it. Dev.
Hey, listen, I wish they would have done it for the Grambling game. I think Klatt was screaming. No, it wasn't. It was Jake Butt screaming, bro, give that dude a third touchdown. We want the Heisman here in Columbus. Get him back in the game. Throw him a third touchdown. You wonder why JJ is receiving punts. I think that is part of the equation as well. I think there's players on the team that can return better or just as good as JJ can, but a punt return on your resume in the Heisman voting as a receiver will go a long way. But I'm all for it. Yeah, like you said, B. Moses, I'm all about it. But there's also a pattern going on. If you guys have caught on like I have, doing those end arounds to JJ normally ends up pretty good. I don't know if you guys remember the Rose Bowl or not, but there's several times, several examples we can go back to. And also that play sets up for so many other plays. What game was it? The Texas game? Do you remember the first touchdown in the Texas game? Why did he walk into the end zone untouched? Because he did what we saw him do tonight multiple times last year. So I love that. You give JJ the ball in the backfield or anywhere on the field, good things happen.
Amen.
Jeffrey McDowell. What's up, Jeffrey? Appreciate you always being here, always supporting us. It's nice to have people in the chat like you. For the calls, appreciate you, homie. Curry was swarming today. Caden Curry, man. I did not talk about him near enough in the offseason. I had good expectations for him, B. Moses, but I didn't. I was always talking about Kenyatta or Bo Atkinson before I would bring his name up. And right now, his name is being brought up first. Out of all the defensive linemen that we have on the team, Caden Curry is the first one that we are going to be talking about. Then probably K-Mac, then probably Bo. I was a little upset we didn't get to see Logan George tonight. I thought we would. I don't recall seeing him.
He was on the field. He was on the field late, I think.
Was he?
I did see his name.
Okay. Yeah. But I just want to see a little more of him. But Caden Curry, I mean, beautiful surprise. The dude obviously the dude looks twice as big as he was last year. Shout out Body by Maradi. B. Moses, what you got to add to that?
Yeah. He looks good, man. I mean, he looks physically, and it's not just bigger, but he still looks ripped and solid.
Oh yeah.
But one thing I noticed, and I said this a while ago on the pod with Nevada, is that when I went back and did my rewatch, of just some of the games in the regular season and the playoff run, and I start noticing guys who were popping more than I thought. Kenyatta was one of them. Kenyatta was in on a lot more plays that he got credit for, but so was Curry. And that's one thing that I pointed out before the season is that, hey, Curry was all over the place. He was responsible for forced fumbles, for just he was in the mix around the ball constantly. And so I'm not surprised by him doing this tonight, but it is dope to see Patricia move him around to nose, to end. I mean, he's just disruptive. And that's a bad matchup for a lot of centers, with Curry at nose tackle. So anyway, yeah, man, he was definitely swarming. He had a really, really good game.
Yeah. This also wasn't one of those games like Grambling where you got to see a bunch of players, but you did get a little insight of where the coaches view some of these freshmen in particular. Devin Sanchez played a lot. Guess who played a lot as well? Riley Pettijohn. No surprise. I saw him in, and this wasn't with second teamers. Riley Pettijohn was in with the starters. Jarquez Carter in with the starters. Bo Jackson. So we're starting to see some of these freshmen step up and push some of these older guys. So it just reminded me of that. So I wanted to bring that up. Shout out to those freshmen and the 25 class in general. All of them are absolute dogs. Mike Green, thanks for the $1.99 again. Sims said Tate was a day 2 wide receiver. Haha, like what? Mike, I had the same exact reaction when I heard him say that. B. Moses, I'm sure you probably did as well.
Man, Simmons was spazzing tonight. He even called Ryan Day Jason Day. I mean, he was just bugging. Like, it was multiple gaffes. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's what you get with Peacock. That's what you get with the Peacock. I'm sorry, that came out wrong. But Peacock is trash. And I'm so glad we're done with that now. Right? I think.
Yeah.
We don't got no more Peacock games, do we?
I don't know,
Purdue?
man.
I don't know, but listen, man. Yeah, he was bad. It was bad. I'm glad it's over. And so, what's Washington? Is that CBS? Like, what is that? Anybody know?
I don't know yet. It's not Peacock. I know that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no Diddy, Mike. No Diddy, Mike.
Yeah, B-Mos, I'm sorry, but I want to let you know ahead of time that you probably just got one of our most viral short videos that I'm going to create directly after this show. So, anyway.
Oh, man.
It's going to be great. It's going to be phenomenal. I got one of those boxes that supposedly you can like stream everything on. I've had it for a week and I didn't even get it set up yet, but I'm curious as to like if I got to watch Peacock through the box or if that box is going to open an avenue for me to watch it somewhere else, but I don't know where else that would be. Because, yeah, the Peacock thing, I could do a whole show on why I thought that was absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
I forget what was that. But, yeah, Carnell Tate is not a day 2 or a second round. No, he's not even a second round wide receiver. We didn't talk about him enough this show either, B. Moses, but Carnell Tate, every game so far this year, I mean, he's absolutely showing up and showing out. What you giggling at, B. Moses? You thinking about the short I'm going to create? Is that why you're laughing?
No. Well, first of all, I'm reading the chat as I'm listening to you. So that the chat is funny. The chat is funny, and then I'm listening to you. And then I'm also thinking about how Carnell Tate is really darn good. That's what you get with this diabolical. when you put it like that, Mike, it is funny. But yeah, bro, I'm multitasking. But yes, the dude Tate is nice, man. He's not the flashiest receiver, but he is as solid and reliable and as skilled. I mean, he doesn't really drop many balls. There's another Diddy. He doesn't. He doesn't run the wrong route.
He did that a while ago, B. Moses. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
what's that? I get it. Drop, drop your nuts. Anyway, we wilding tonight. It's late. We off half sleep. You know what I'm saying? We just don't even mind us. We just talking from sleepiness.
Yeah.
But no. Let me focus. Carnell Tate is a dog. He's absolutely not a day 2. I don't know where he got that from. I haven't seen any mock drafts that say that. Sims was bugging tonight. I don't know what's wrong with that dude, but I'm just glad it's over.
Yo, I met Carnell in person. When I watch Carnell on the field, I envision a 6'1", kind of skinnier looking dude. Well, I'm going to tell you, I met the dude in person, shook his hand, had a conversation with you. I am 6 foot, 235 pounds, and felt small next to him. He was quite a bit taller than me, and the dude is jacked. So the camera does not do him justice for the size that he truly is. He's a big dude. He really is. I think that's it. I had one more thing. I forget what I was going to say. That happens all the time. It's late. But you see other teams across the country struggling. You watch our rival. We're going to hear about this Heisman run now because he did decent against CMU. It's like, I mean, give us a break. Please just skip that. But other teams, the Georgia-Tennessee game, Clemson, not doing real well. And that just puts more of a joke towards the national media trying to say LSU is the number 1 team in the country. They beat a not good Clemson team, as we're going to find out. Notre Dame, Texas A&M's 40-34, 2 minutes to go. It's a beautiful time to end the show, so we can watch that. But the Buckeyes, looking like the number 1 team in the nation, easily looking like they can go for a repeat. Very difficult to do, but we have the skill, we have the coaching, and we have coachable mistakes being made early in the season that we can get better on. B. Moses, closing thoughts.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The best part about being 3-0 means you got the chance to go 4-0. So there's that. Big win, 4-touchdown win. Struggles early. Ohio is not a bum. They beat West Virginia. West Virginia just beat their rival today, Pitt. I'm not saying Pitt's great, but these are Power 4 teams. Ohio is not a typical MAC cupcake. They're a solid, well-coached team. That's not an excuse for not executing early, but I'm saying for you Michigan fans out there who already hit my page because y'all feel good today. It's so funny, Dev. They feel so good. You can tell they got their swagger back on social media because you smacked the Chippewas, you bums. They're trash. Ohio would beat them by 4 touchdowns. Do you hear me? Okay, you'll come right back down to earth when you go to Nebraska. All right? Just stop. Anyway, Go Bucks, bye week time. Get ready for at Washington. That's going to be a great, great atmosphere, great test for our young quarterback and our young team, and I'm excited.
Yep, I'm going to be at that Washington game, dude, so I'm absolutely stoked. But make sure you hit that alert bell, hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button as well. Stay tuned tomorrow or Monday, Tuesday, at some point in time. Me and B. Moses both will be breaking down some film from this play, giving you guys a pretty good view of some of the behind-the-scene things going on this team that we don't get to see during the game because we're always watching where the ball is. Well, the most important things are happening where the ball is not, blocks and stuff like that. So we'll break that down for you, give you guys a good look there. It's bye week. This team's going to get to rest up, work out some of those kinks that we saw in this Ohio game. But so far, season going as planned. Everything looking like we got a bunch of potential, a lot of growth to be had, which is a really, really good thing. It is a long season. It is a 12-team playoff, as we figured out last year. So stay on top of that horse, man. Keep riding it. And as B. Moses said, be patient. I got to tell myself that all the time when I'm watching the games. But be patient, Buckeyes. This is a team. These are people just like you and me. They got some growing pains to go through, but they got a good support group around them to get them through it. So on that note, we appreciate you guys for joining the show. We'll see you next time. Love you guys. Go Buckeyes. OH.
Ayo. Peace.